Dear friends, welcome to the meeting dedicated to the 19th anniversary of the birth of the positive psychotherapy founder, Professor Nossrat Peseschkian. We are happy to meet today in such a warm circle of colleagues from different parts of the world. A ruler was traveling through his country. On the slope in the rays of the sun, he saw an old man walking. The ruler came closer and saw that the man was planting small annual seedlings. What are you doing? I'm planting walnuts. You're already so old. Why do you plant them? The leaves of which you will not see, in the shade of which you will not rest, and the fruit of which you will not eat. The old man looked at the ruler and answered, those who came before us planted so we could harvest. Now we plant for those who come after us. Today we have a double symbolic celebration because today we have International Father's Day in many countries. And it's a very important thing, I think, for us. And now I want to give the floor for Nossrat Peseschkian, the president of World Association of Positive and Transcultural Psychotherapy. For you and for Navid, of course, Nossrat Peseschkian is a real father. For all of us, he is father of our method. So please, the floor is yours.
So dear friends, dear colleagues, welcome to this very special meeting. Today I saw we are from about 20 countries and 17 time zones, from the United States to Samoa, from China, Mongolia to Ethiopia, whole Europe. So it's very wonderful to see all of you, and thank you for the organizing committee to really make this celebration. I think it's a great tradition which especially exists in Eastern countries, Eastern European and other countries, to remember people who have been important for us at the special birthday or special days. Thank you very much for that. To make it clear, it was not my idea to speak today. The organizing committee asked me. I don't need to speak every time, but so that you don't say why he's speaking always. So it was not my idea. I think the best birthday gift for Nossrat Peseschkian is really our gathering today. Yeah, that you sit in a small room as a migrant in Germany, you try to develop a method, and then 50 years later, we have now more than 2,000 members in 44 countries. I mean, this, I think, is the best birthday gift. Yeah, and thank you very much, really, for being a part of this international professional family. I think there are at least two ways to remember the birthday or event of someone. The first is, you know, this whole thing with the birthday cake, photos, and focusing a lot on the past. The second, I think, is more, what can I learn from the life of that person for my own life? Because this person has gone, what is left is my life. How can I be inspired from this biography for my own autobiography, so to say? I don't have a birthday cake, but later you will see two nice videos. One of them was made from our large family 1 week ago at the family reunion. It's a surprise, and today will be the first, how you call it in English, it will be the first time this video will be shown worldwide. It's how to say, premiere, yeah? So it's the first time. It's world premiere, yeah. So this is our birthday cake for you. I think you will like it. But allow me to focus a little bit on that, what maybe can be learned from the life of Nossrat Peseschkian for ourselves. And I think also this would be in his spirit to also to look at that. If I look back now, let's say his life as a father for my brother and myself, but also as the founding father of positive psychotherapy. And if I have to summarize it up in one word, I would say it's vision. He had a very strong sense of vision. If you look up, many of you don't have a dictionary or encyclopedia anymore, but if you look up in, I don't know, in Wikipedia or so, vision means a picture about a future situation. So his vision, so he had a very strong sense of vision, which was, or put it this way, first you need a vision in your own life, and then you can develop some kind of mission. First the vision, then the mission. And but if you develop your own vision, it can be sometimes very dangerous. You know, you develop the vision, I want to be powerful, I want to be rich, I want to do this. It can be sometimes dangerous. So the vision of Nossrat Peseschkian comes without any questions. He was inspired by the teachings of the Baha'i faith, the Baha'i religion, which were like, the world is one country, and all human beings are members of this one country. Or, you know, this word my father was always quoting, you're all the fruits of one tree and the leaves of one branch. Or that every human being is like a mine, so like a box full of gems, diamonds, brilliant, rubies, smaragd, and this. So that was the vision he had learned, or the things he had learned as a child, and then he tried to put this into their practice. So what was the consequence of this vision? One was, as those of you who met him, but maybe you saw also from his videos, but also from the books, he tried to love everyone, despite the cultural background. So it was not like, I like people from this country, I don't like people from this country. Every human being was interesting for him. Every human being he did not know, he thought this might be interesting to meet this person. Yeah. So when you would tell him, do you come to a seminar to Papua New Guinea? He would say, okay, why not? And then later my mother would tell him, well, this is 10,000 kilometers away. He said, no problem, we'll go there. Okay. And so this way they traveled together to, I think, more than 70 countries worldwide. So I think, therefore, I'm emphasizing that, because first you need a vision which will guide your life. If not, you get very confused. You look every day only at your mobile phone and what is in social media, but you don't have a guidance for your life. You know, many of us live today under difficult circumstances. Either there is a war, the issue of migration, financial problems, economic problems, many other problems going on. As we say in English, you are then in good company with Nossrat Peseschkian. Because you know that he lost his mother when he was 17 years old. He had to take care of his younger brothers and sister. He moved with at 21 years old. He moved to Germany, and he was sometimes telling me when he was studying the books for medical studies, he had to translate them into 4 languages. He read the books in German. He had to translate in Latin, from Latin to Arabic, from Arabic to Persian language in order to understand. Because at that time there were no other dictionaries. Yeah, but that was the way. But if you have a clear vision, you do these things. If you don't have a vision, you throw away the book and say, leave me alone. I think this is very important. He had no money. There was no internet. He could never go back to his home country anymore. There was one exception, but not so. But so his idea was, I have a clear vision and I don't let anybody destroy this vision. Yeah. Sometimes I'm thinking, if you would live today, and maybe that's also interesting for you, how much time would he spend on social media? What do you think? How much time he would spend on Telegram, Instagram, Messenger, Facebook? Would he look the whole time who is posting what and so? Or would he say, don't waste your time? The life is limited. Do something to put your vision into practice. And if I may say, you know, if I may say that, so what was his motivating force was that, that as I said, this world, it is only one family. So really one large human family. Therefore, he could develop the concept of transcultural psychotherapy. If you don't have this concept, you think in a very nationalistic or national way, how can you develop transcultural psychotherapy? How can you say, what do all people have in common, but why, by what do they differ? Yeah. No difference. By coming to an end, well, today, as I said, we have this loving memory of Nossrat Peseschkian, and I'm sure we all have a sense of gratitude that he developed such a nice method, and that some of you also had the opportunity to meet him personally. But I think it's really a good day. At such days, it's good to think, what can I do now in my own life? If not, you go tonight at home and then it's finished and you forget everything. But what can I do? We can read the books of Nossrat Peseschkian, or as you say, not to read, to study them really, to understand them, to become a good psychotherapist. There are many psychotherapists, but some of them are not good. Try to become a good. Try to become a good psychotherapist.
你不能拿去买别的。今天父亲节，知道吗？
And for example, maybe it involves also to go to other places, to another country, or to, as you say, to get out of my comfort zone. I have said that before, but as you might know, my father did not speak any English at the beginning. My mother, yes, because she was educated in another way, but my father had never the opportunity. So I think he was 40, 45 when he started to learn English. Yeah, but again, a clear vision. I want to spread this idea all over the world. If I need to learn English, I will do it. So you see, all the stones in your life changes when you have a clear vision. If you don't have this vision, everything is difficult in life. Yeah. And yeah. So dear friends, let's celebrate this day, and I think really let's continue the important work that Nossrat Peseschkian has done. And we see today, 50 years later, that the world really needs this positive concept, this transcultural understanding. We can help individual patients, but especially to build bridges between the different countries and cultures. This, I think, is a very interesting part, a very interesting thing. And really thank you for that we have this global family. Really, every day when I look up, we have 44 countries or maybe some more. Then I think, okay, what a wonderful professional community we have. Many other people would love to have such a professional family, but they don't have it then. So it's a unique opportunity for us. And really, thank you very much for being a part of that. Thank you. Ludmila?
Yes, and now we will see a beautiful video about Nossrat Peseschkian.
Welcome to the Lesson 2 of the Positive Psychotherapy Introductory course. It is dedicated to the founder of PPT method, Dr. Nossrat Peseschkian, and discovers the fascinating origins of positive psychotherapy. As each method, PPT is heavily influenced by its founder's personality and biography. Nossrat Peseschkian was an Iranian-born German board-certified psychiatrist, neurologist, psychotherapist, and specialist of psychosomatic medicine. He has been described by his biographer as a wanderer between two worlds. Nossrat Peseschkian describes the origins of his method as follows.
As a Persian, Iranian, I have lived in Europe since 1954. In this situation, it was very clear to me that many forms of behavior, customs and attitudes did not have the same value in the two cultures. This was a discovery that I could already make during my childhood in Tehran. As Baha'is, we were always in the middle between our Muslim, Christian and Jewish. This stimulated me to reflect upon the connections the religions have with one another and the relationships of people to one another. I had experience with the families of my classmates and learned to understand their attitudes as coming from their worldviews and family concepts. Later I was to witness similar confrontations during my medical specialization, showing how tense the relationship was between psychiatric, neurological, and psychotherapeutic positions and with what vehemence they collided with one another. I learned that these prejudices must be discarded.
PPT has its roots in humanistic psychology and psychotherapy. Nossrat Peseschkian was influenced by personal encounters with leading psychotherapists like Heinrich Meng, Viktor Frankl, and Jacob Levi-Moreno, who left a lasting impression on him during his training. At the same time, some principles of the Baha'i faith, such as the harmony between science and religion, the Baha'i image of the human being as a mine rich in gems of inestimable value, and the vision of a global society in cultural diversity, fascinated and inspired Nossrat Peseschkian throughout his life. These principles played a significant role in his work and philosophy. Additionally, the strong influence of psychoanalysis and its neo-Freudian, psychosomatic, and focus-oriented developments, such as Ballant, also had an impact on him. Despite these positive experiences, Peseschkian also observed the quarrels between different schools and methods in Germany. In response, Peseschkian hoped to construct a meta-theory that could bridge the gaps between these different methods. The further development of positive psychotherapy by Nossrat Peseschkian can be attributed to several factors, including insights from continuing medical education, experiences with patients in psychotherapeutic and psychosomatic practices, interactions with individuals from diverse cultures, religions, and value systems, and the heterogeneous nature of psychotherapy methods. These experiences led to the development of positive and transcultural psychotherapy. The titles of early books such as Psychotherapy of Everyday Life and In Search of Meaning illustrate the influence of psychoanalysis and existential schools of psychotherapy on PPT. While the title Positive Family Therapy highlights its common development with systemic family therapy. In total, the founder of positive psychotherapy, Nossrat Peseschkian, wrote 29 books and numerous articles on this method. This was the second lesson about the founder of positive psychotherapy. Go to the playlist. Watch the following lessons to learn more about the main concepts and techniques of PPT method. If you were interested, like this video and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next videos.
And you can share this beautiful video with your colleagues, students, for many people will know about the founder of our method. And now I will give the microphone to my colleague, Vladimir, please.
Ми знаємо, що Nossrat Peseschkian
We know that Nossrat Peseschkian loved humor. And now I would like to pass the floor to the famous mathematician, the famous member of the Intergalaxy Science Academy, the Bert Gustav Jugenstein, with the presentation dedicated to the topic Peseschkian, first mathematician amongst psychotherapists.
Thank you, Vladimir. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to be here and nice to meet you all. And of course, today is a great day for all of us. And we celebrate the anniversary of Professor Peseschkian, you know, of course, but really, it's not only the great date for psychotherapists, for community of positive psychotherapists. It's also my colleagues from the community of mathematics also celebrate this date. And really, you should know that Professor Peseschkian was the first mathematician actually. And now I would like to show something, and I will prove you that he was a mathematics indeed. So please, I should share my screen. One moment. And of course, oh, can you see? Can you see this? That you know that Professor Peseschkian was the founder of the differentiational analytical approach, and all of us know him like a psychotherapist, but he was a mathematician. You know that positive psychotherapy is was created by him, and this method really is like a bridge between left and right hemisphere, and we can divide all, not divide, join all our brain, and it's also like a irrational logic, yeah, intuitive rationality. And let me say, like Hugo Steinhaus said, between spirit and matter, mathematics mediates, actually. So why higher mathematics? First of all, you should know because the basic formula of this knowledge is 3H. H like a height. What is the level of this height? It's heart. Do you remember maybe this gest from the Peseschkians? And also it was a heart, head, and hand. And after that, we go to the other level, like hope, healing, and happiness. So, and of course, you should know that positive high mathematics in psychotherapy has a part of positive geometry. Maybe you know, of course, you know the positive psychotherapeutical figures like triangle with different level of conflicts, the rhombus, the first one like a balance model, the second one like a model of those dimensions like Y, U, V, primary V, and of course the equatorial or balanced rhombus called the Peseschkian crystal. It was named by the professor. And beside of this, we should know about other scientific discoveries and achievements by professor. From the start, he described the ratio of the basic capacities development in accordance with criteria of physical quantities. It was a body aspect, like a mass, environment is a space, and the epoch like a time. So all of these are the physical quantities. That's why it's a kind of mathematical theory. So the next one, he formulated an axiom: who walks alone can add, and who walks together multiplies. Yeah. And the next, he invented the general algorithm, how to solve any problem, any theorem. He also proved the theorem about the equivalence macro and micro traumas. Really? He also describes the serial balance using the aspect ratio as an example in a rhombus. You might know the balance model and different kind of measuring it. So he proved the correlation of primary and secondary capacities and created a system for measuring. You can see this form, how to measure. He also applied the system of integrals that's called as cross-culture approach, which allows us to define a unity in diversity. And beside of this, I should pay attention about this discovery. He developed the idea of Albert Einstein, proposing to apply the formula. You can see this formula for determining the client's energy, where M is the indicator of microtrauma and C are in the second degree are the basic capacities. So this is the way how we can define what level of energy. So what are the results? What is the development prospects for this science? Actually, thankfully to Professor Peseschkian, we are able to see the both plus and minus aspect, plus and minus as a whole. We can identify excess and deficiency. We can apply balancing to align the different sides. Beside of it, we have ability to extract the root for basic conflict resolving. Very important thing. And of course, we have ability to solve an equation with several unknowns, identify the inner conflict. everything we can solve, thankfully to his discoveries. And of course, we have ability to solve the multi-level task in the system equations like I, U, V, primary V. So we should learn mathematics because it helps to make an order in our mind. Pay attention to this. And by the end, you should know that everything in Genius is simple, of course, and we can explain the main principles of higher positive mathematics with fingers. Let it be like a small training for our brain, or as neurogymnastic. Let me show. You can do it together with me. So I stop the video, and this we have the higher positive psychotherapy, higher positive mathematics in psychotherapy. So 1 positive video, 2 basic capacities, 3 principles, 4 sphere of life, and 5 stages for self-help. So 1 vision, 2 capacities, 3 principles, 4 spheres of life, and 5 steps for self-help. That's great. Thank you for Professor Peseschkian, and thanks to you, my dear.
Thank you very much. In the role of the great mathematician with us was a master trainer in positive psychotherapy, Katerina Ovcharik. Thank you. Thank you very much. And now we can definitely say that positive psychotherapy is not only positive geometry, but also positive algebra, positive higher mathematics. Thank you very much.
With appreciation.
The significance of some discovery depends how many new discoveries can arise from it. And Nossrat Peseschkian's books and speeches, they are just like that. Every time you read or every time you listen, you can find something new, and every time you can discover something new for yourself. So now we want to present to your attention a unique fragment of the professor's interview. It was given for the Ukrainian National News Service. So it was given on the state level during his visit to Ukraine in 2007. And it's very important that the words of Nossrat Peseschkian were translated personally by Professor, President of the Ukrainian Union of Psychotherapists, former President of EAP, Professor Alexander Filtz. So now we can see the masterclass from Professor Nossrat Peseschkian how to present PPT in a simple way using only 8 minutes. Please.
As Hauptkonzept, the positive therapy is wer alleine arbeitet, addiert.
Базовою концепцією позитивної терапії є наступне мото, наступний лозунг. Хто працює один або сам, той додає.
Wer mit anderen zusammenarbeitet, multipliziert.
А той, хто працює з іншими людьми, той мультиплікує, тобто помножує.
Also, Diese Frage zu beantworten, haben wir in 33 Kulturen Untersuchungen gemacht. Was haben alle Menschen gemeinsam? Wodurch unterscheiden sie sich?
І для того, щоб відповісти на таке питання, яке ми на риторичне питання або мото, ми почали досліджувати в 33 країнах те, що людей відрізняє в культуральному сенсі, але тим не менше об'єднує як людей.
Diese Grundfrage, liebe Freunde, ist für das Verständnis der transkulturellen Zeit im Zeitalter der Globalisierung wichtig. Ja?
І це питання є не просто питанням самим по собі, воно є дуже важливе для багатьох відповідей, які ставить перед нами сьогодні глобалізація загальна.
Das lässt sich jetzt übertragen, was haben alle Methoden gemeinsam, wodurch unterscheiden sie sich? Ja?
Ну і дуже цікаве питання, апропо, воно питання для цілої європейської психотерапевтичної спільноти. Чим також всі методи психотерапії, які ми сьогодні маємо, чим вони є спільні, що в них є одне і те саме, спільне для всіх.
Was haben alle Krankheiten gemeinsam, wodurch unterscheiden sie sich?
А ще далі, що спільно мають між собою всі хвороби взагалі? І чим вони одна від іншої можуть відрізнятися?
Was haben alle Kulturen gemeinsam, wodurch unterscheiden sie sich?
Ідемо далі. Що мають спільної культури всі між собою, і чим вони також одна від іншої відрізняються?
Was haben alle Religionen gemeinsam, wodurch unterscheiden sie sich?
Наступне питання, що спільно мають релігії між собою, і чим вони відрізняються також?
So, deshalb positivische Therapie ist nicht nur eine Methode Krankheitsbehandlung, sondern ist ein System, das man kulturell, familiär, partnerschaftlich, erziehungsmäßig einbeziehen kann.
Отож, як ми бачимо, позитивна психотерапія не лише є терапія в сенсі лікування, а це є куди ширший метод, який нам дає можливість думати над тим, що є культура, що є спільнота, що є сім'я, що є кожна окрема людина.
Und unser Konzept lautet, dass jeder Mensch bei der Geburt bringt Orient und Occident mit sich.
І наша концепція також полягає в тому, що кожна людина від свого першого дня народження несе в собі, як в лапках, напевно, метафорично треба розуміти, схід, так і захід.
Die rechte Hirnhälfte ist Symbol für Orient.
Права півкуля, ми так метафорично вважаємо, є символом східної культури, сходу, як такого.
Emotionale Teile sind wichtig. Gäste haben, wie hier in Ukraine, Kiew, wie wichtig sind Kontakte miteinander ist hier.
Це є частина емоціонального головного мозку. І я хочу сказати, що вчора, як ми тут вже побачили, важливо є не тільки самі емоції, а їх супроводження жестикуляцією, мімікою. І як важливо є ця частина взагалі емоційно-поведінково-пантомімічна.
Also die rechte Hälfte ist Symbol für Orient, die linke Hirnhälfte ist Symbol für Occident, für das Abendland, ja? Kognitive Sache, Arbeit, Pünktlichkeit, Ordnung sind wichtig.
Коментар в дужках. Можна бачити по тому, як професор Песешкіан говорить, з якою жестикуляцією, як він характеризує обі половини, вже можна зрозуміти. Das waren meine Worte. Jetzt sage ich, was du gesagt hast. Ну, а далі професор Песешкіан говорить, ліва частина нашого головного мозку, це є символічна частина, прийнято говорити, західна, або частина північної землі, так, Abendland. Нашої раціональної частини цивілізації, то є пунктуальність, працездатність, функціональність, ощадливість, додає професор Песешкіан,
Gerechtigkeit.
Така справедливість.
Hier ist Gäste, Kontakt, Geduld, sich Zeit nehmen, wenn nicht heute, morgen, übermorgen.
Тобто в тій правій частині східна є терпеливість, така контемплятивна позиція, подивитись, посидіти, почекати. Якщо не нині, то завтра.
Die beide Seiten sind sehr gut, aber einseitig, die brauchen eine Brücke. Das ist Pons cerebri, dass diese beiden miteinander verbindet, wie Orient und Occident miteinander sinnvoll arbeiten können.
Вони є кожна сама по собі, і кожна має свої особливості, але треба розуміти, що вони мусять бути якимось чином поєднані, і структури головного мозку, як говорить професор Пезешкіан, Pons cerebri, тобто міст між правою і лівою частиною. Є така структура головного мозку, об'єднують схід і захід в одну спільну функціональну систему.
Dieser Aspekt ist sehr wichtig und Menschen in Ukraine, besonders hier, sind in einer wunderbaren Situation, weil die haben sehr viel von Orient und viel auch Occident. Jetzt sind dabei, miteinander zu verbinden dann, ja.
Тут, як говорить професор Пезешкіан, люди в Україні є в винятково добрій ситуації, і з тим, напевно, можна погодитись, що вони є безпосередньо такими, які частину несуть в собі Сходу, частину Заходу, і намагаються ті дві половини між собою поєднати.
Und besonders freut mich dann auf diese transkulturelle Begegnung mit Ihnen, Dr. Karikash, mit den Freunden, und wo wir hier so toll miteinander arbeiten können.
Ну і без сумніву дуже цікавий є транскультуральний аспект саме тут, в Україні. Є дуже цікаво і подивитися, і далі бачити, як ми можемо співпрацювати з колегами, в першу чергу з Володимиром Карікашем і з київськими колегами також в полі самої психотерапії і в полі пізнання транскультуральних особливостей.
Das letzte Wort, unser Konzept heißt das, kann man zusammenfassen, das ist der Titel meines Buches, wenn man etwas haben will, was man noch nie gehabt hat, so muss man etwas tun, was man noch nie getan hat.
Ну і може одно з найостанніших таких може лозунгів, мото нашої терапії полягає в наступному, що якщо хтось хоче чогось осягнути або мати те, чого ще не мав ніколи, то для цього треба зробити щось такого, що раніше я ніколи не робив.
So, 8 minutes for the most important ideas of positive psychotherapy from the founder. As Hamid said in the beginning, of course, it's very important to remember the founder, but the most important is the question, how do we use his ideas now in our everyday life? And now I want to ask to share some of our colleagues, our trainers, which words of Professor Peseschkian are the most important, actual, relevant for you now, for you personally, for your country, or you think for worldwide. I know a few colleagues here who want to say, and then if you want to say something, you can then raise your head and we will ask you. So now I want to ask Olga Litvinenko, please. I know that you want to share your
Добрий день,
ideas.
шановні колеги.
Good day, dear colleagues. I would like to thank everyone who gathered today, and I want to thank our community, our friendly community, our warm community, and the video that was just broadcasted. It motivated me. Volodya, you're so beautiful there. You're so handsome. It was such a pleasure to watch it. Unfortunately, I did not manage to meet in person Volodymyr, to meet in person our teacher, but I was lucky to see his students who are inspiring us. And I believe that this is a big investment in the psychotherapy and philosophy of nowadays that was given by Nossrat Peseschkian. It continues living in our hearts, and we, as teachers of the second and third generations, and we are together. We are doing this together. And what else would I like to say? Why did I choose positive psychotherapy? Why this method became my heartful method? Because I believe that in this mixture of psychodynamics and humanistic approach, such a humanistic philosophical approach to people, if we take these two sides, then I would find that, feeling when you're in love with the things, the two main things that exist in the history of psychotherapy. If we speak about psychodynamics, my very valuable story about the dream teller. I always tell my students that the form, the intonation, the approach to what is happening in the therapeutical process are always more important than the content, than the connotation or interpretation, the way how we speak about it. It is more important than the idea that we want to prove, because the person mostly needs that acceptance, that primary thing, something that the person goes for in psychotherapy. And I also believe that there is no need to remind you about that story, whether you will live long or all your or the people that you know will die before you, and then you will be lonely, lonely padishah. And this is something that I repeat all the time. And there is another expression really important for me. It is an expression of a deep, very profound philosopher, Nossrat Peseschkian, an expression that now in these difficult times when there are so many challenges in front of us, when life, you do not know what's gonna happen with you in the morning, whether you will be alive. This is how we live now. I always remember this expression. I don't have a possibility to add days to my life, but I can add life into every single one of my days. And this is how we live now. Thanks to Nossrat Peseschkian. Thank you, dear colleagues, to every single one of you.
Raluca, are you here? Can you share?
Hi, yes, hello. Hello, everybody. I feel very emotional kind of being part of this event. And I think it's so important that we all meet together and celebrate the life of Professor Peseschkian and our part in developing the method. There are so many stories, quotes, and videos of Professor Peseschkian that are inspirational. But I'll talk about my first meeting with Professor Peseschkian's philosophy. I remember my first seminar on positive psychotherapy. It was October 2006. And on one of the presentation slides, there was a quote: "If you want something you never had, you have to do something you never did." At that time, I was 26 years old and embarking on my journey in positive psychotherapy. And this quote, I found it so profound and had such an impact on both my professional and personal life. For me, it symbolizes hope for a better future, the courage to embrace change, and the belief that something different and more fulfilling awaits us if we just took action, if we just take action. Also, Professor Peseschkian's ability to adapt to a new culture and develop a psychotherapeutic approach that profoundly impacted people's lives continues to shape our perspective on life and our connections with ourselves and others. And this meeting is proof of that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. Ocean, are you here? Can you hear us? We are very happy that today a lot of our colleagues from China are here. Can you hear me, Ocean?
Hello, everyone. 我用中文讲，小兰叔来帮我翻译一下。
I will speak in Chinese and I will I'm very lucky to join WOP because I started to study positive psychotherapy in my third year in college. At that time, I was very confused about my life. I was thinking what kind of person I would like to be and what kind of therapist I would like to become. And PPT has inspired me a lot. And one of the most important inspiration is transcultural approach, that we can integrate all different approaches into positive psychotherapy. This is a very important lesson for me as a therapist. I'm always willing to learn from other schools, other methods. I will not think other schools are wrong, and I will not have this kind of exclusion for other approaches, which is very important for my work. And because now in China, we use positive psychotherapy methods with psychiatry, social workers. We collaborate together and we discuss the cases together. We use balance model and the four areas of balance model in our discussion. And we have different ideas of art therapy or music therapy. And under the guidance of positive psychotherapy, in my city, PPT is the biggest and most influential psychotherapy approaches, and the transcultural approach has a very important influence on us. At the end of my sharing, I'm trying to see if I can share a picture with every one of you. This picture was taken several weeks ago. The picture was taken in 2005 when Dr. Peseschkian came to our city. I was very surprised and happy to find this photo because the translator was my college professor. So at the beginning, when Hamid was talking about Professor Peseschkian's vision, this vision attracted my professor from college to study PPT. And years later, this vision attracted me to study PPT. This visionary approach is still very energetic and very popular in our city and our world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ocean. Eva and Solomon, you are here together. It's amazing. Please, floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm so happy to see all of you. Well, I see that we are not here only together with Solomon, but we are just here together with the whole world and with all of you. I was really thinking yesterday about the most important quote which I've got in my mind, thinking about Professor Peseschkian. And I had a lot of them. And it was so difficult for me to choose. What could I really tell? And I've opened one book and I found one sentence which I felt really very strongly nowadays. And it is a sentence that this book leads the reader to the fountain, but he must drink from it himself. And I had this feeling that we really get maybe all. And we've got so much in positive psychotherapy. And at the same time, it's our decision what we do with it. And maybe that's why I'm so happy that we are here together. Thank you. Solomon.
Yeah, thanks so much, my colleagues. I'm very happy to see you here from Poland. So I don't know what to speak about PPT. Like what Raluca said, I'm a bit nervous always in every stage when I talk about PPT. So I try to do that. But when you think of this current situation, you can imagine that we have a lot of challenges in the world, but the responses and solutions also we can get from Peseschkian. I'm really surprised. On this occasion also, I thank God, and I want also to thank here is Helga Mangustu and Dr. John Okoro also to connect me for the first time with PPT. So you have a great place. So always when I think of positive psychotherapy, you see one thing is unity and diversity. What we are doing is really wonderful and amazing. Always some quote is coming to my mind. I hope all of you know that it is the path. I call it the pathway to change. Yeah, psychotherapy is all about change, but positive psychotherapy is it's cost-effective and strategically well designed. A change agent I can see. So it's not only for the psychotherapists. Everyone in the world, I think, should get this approach, and it works. It says one thing. It looks simple, but it's a lot of things. Like in that age, Peseschkian talk about change. Like if you want to bring order in the land, you must bring order to the provinces. And again, if you want to bring order to the provinces, you must bring order to the cities. If you want to bring order to the cities, you must bring order to the families. If you want to bring order to the families, you must bring order to your own family. If you want to bring order to your own family, you must bring order to your own son. This shows how systematic is change in order to bring an idea, effective nations, world. It's in our hand. But to bring change, it's not always spontaneous. It's dynamic. It needs strategically well-designed intervention. Always when I talk about change, even when I meet with psychotherapy, when I meet with my trainees, when I meet with different people, this quote is always coming to me. I want to thank God also giving me this opportunity. What can I say more than this? Thank you, all of you.
Thank you very much, Solomon. Thank you. Vladimir, please. I know you want to share too.
Я подивився так з
I
цікавістю.
have watched with curiosity. I have looked with curiosity on that extract where we were sitting there with Peseschkian 20 years ago, and I can just tell you that I'm wearing the same. I'm wearing the same tie. I took it out today, and this is the tie that he was giving as a gift to many people. I really like that tie, and I have seen the same tie on that video. And what I really like, I like those two expressions. The first one is that it doesn't matter how high of a mountain you climb, but it is important how many and who did you bring with you. And now, while looking on the screen, while seeing so many familiar faces, I want to say to everyone, and every single one of you who have seen Peseschkian might have been talking for hours about this, but it's so warm for me that there are so many people who knew Peseschkian and who participated in this. So this is a great pleasure for me. And another expression, I will first say it in English and then in Ukrainian. So I will try to communicate Peseschkian's intonation. Coming together is just beginning. Staying together already progress, but working together, that is the success.
Зібратись разом – це тільки початок. Залишитись разом – це вже прогрес. Але працювати разом – саме це є успіх. Ну і для нас успіх, звісно, це
And for us, success is a victory for Ukraine when all of us will be able to be together. Thank you.
And now, please, Fariba, can you hear us?
Yes, thank you. Hello, dear friends, dear colleagues. It is really a great pleasure for me to be here, to be invited. Thank you. So, the most important and central issue for me, which I gained from Professor Nossrat Peseschkian, but also from his wife, Manager Peseschkian, is the positive worldview. The positive worldview means that the human beings are good by nature. And also everyone has a lot of capacity regardless from which culture they're coming from. This view make it so much easier to be and to get and to stay in contact with the people around the world. But also the positive worldview means that our life has a deeper sense and that there is a purpose for which we are all here. At the end of the day, the world will come closer in a very united global society. I have also learned from both to focus and have a kind of self-efficacy with a clear vision. And in times of world crisis, I have learned from Peseschkian not to waste my time on politics, not to waste my time on what the people have to do or not to do. So I learned to focus on my own vision and using what I learned from PPT to support people, to help people in this crisis time. Therefore, PPT gave me tools to achieve my vision with happiness and also peaceful mind. At the end, I would like to share with you a phrase from one beautiful Persian poem, which I know Nossrat Peseschkian liked a lot. I try to translate it. I hope it's good. Being happy is an art, but making others happy is a much greater art. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Fariba. Thank you. Katerina Dokonova, are you here?
Yes, I'm here, Luda. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Oh, dear colleagues, I'm so happy to be today here with you and to see our professional family. It's really amazing. I had a chance to meet Professor Peseschkian personally. It was more than 15 years ago in Riga. And when Luda asked me to share some important words or phrases, which I know from him, I start to remember this meeting. It was 15 years ago, but all expression and all emotions from that meeting, it's easily become alive inside me, because I met a man full of life energy, enjoy every moment, and when he looks at you, you could feel that he loves you. He don't know you, but he already loves you. He interested in you because, as Hamid said, you are a human being, and it's incredible experience. I love one phrase which I got from him. It's not his words, but I heard it from his lecture or presentation. It's about, if you think that you're too small to change something in the world, so try to sleep in one room with mosquito, And this phrase very supportive and inspiring for me, especially in these times of challenging, time of crisis, when we all facing experience of powerlessness, when we see how a lot of global problem we have. And I think the example of life, Professor Peseschkian's life, is example how much and how a lot one person able to change around themselves to make the world a little bit better. We are 2,000 members in our community. I see how we met together, how we cooperate, how we support each other. And for sure, it's because once we met him, read his books, or participate in his seminar, and this idea very inspiring and supportive for me, because he changed a lot in my life, not only professional life, and I'm sure in life of every one of us. So these words I choose and these things I want to share with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I can see here and Francesca, John Cora, you knew Professor. Do you want to share with us some words which are the most actual for you now?
Yes, good day, everybody. Well, are you getting me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you and see you.
Okay. Well, when I met Professor Peseschkian the first time in Linz in Austria, he was my father, and we became so intimate in sharing our convictions. And from that time, I would say he was phoning me every day. He was calling me, he phoned me, and then he was telling me, asking me, how am I? What am I doing now? And so on and so forth. So I came to know all members of the family. He invited me off sometimes to their birthday and to their festivities. So he showed me generosity. Generosity means that if you love somebody, you have to share all things that you have with him. And so he visited me when I was appointed the bishop in Austria. He was at my ordination and he spoke on that day. And I have been, trying to, anywhere I go now, I've been trying to express this generosity to everybody I met. So I'm so pleased to meet such a personality. And I'm so thankful for all the members of PPT. I'm so thankful that this generosity is still continuous. So I thank everybody for inviting me now to speak. I never expected to speak. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I see you, Maxime, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm also happy to see you all, and I have a lot of memories about the Professor Peseschkian and the first meeting where we just met for the first time, and he hugged me like we knew each other for quite a while. And I was honored to see him and to host him at my house. And he played with my oldest son, tried to teach him English with the words, we are good friends. We are good friends. It was really touching. Yeah, and I remember moments outside of his teaching activity, like we spending time in the pool, or I don't know, in the restaurant, or eating chicken. Like he really enjoyed time being together with people. Yeah, even I remember my last meeting with Professor. So I stayed for a couple of days before the board meeting, and so he invited me to the restaurant, and we stayed together. So he gave me 20 euros and said, "This is for your kids." He was so generous, really. So many moments to remember. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And now we can see the beautiful video Hamid said from the family members. What could they say about their father, their grandfather, their brother?
So dear colleagues, dear friends, we are sending our loving greetings to your conference from the annual meeting it's a family reunion of family Peseschkian and the nearby relatives. So we are sending to all of you our loving greetings. We are near Frankfurt in a very nice hotel this weekend. And we are very grateful that you are celebrating and remembering Nossrat Peseschkian on his 90th birthday. And because this coincides with our meeting here, we thought maybe you would like to hear some small glimpses, stories from the life of Nossrat Peseschkian, which could be interesting. And our first will be my aunt, who is the sister of Nossrat Peseschkian, Rezvan Spengler, and she will say a few words and I will translate it into English.
Hallo, grüße Sie alle.
Welcome everybody.
Und ich heiße Rezvan Spengler.
My name is Rezvan.
Ich bin die Schwester von Nossrat Peseschkian.
I'm the sister of Nossrat Peseschkian.
Und Nossrat war 8 Jahre älter als ich.
And Nossrat Peseschkian was 8 years older than me.
Und war 3 Jahre vor mir in Deutschland.
And he came to Germany 3 years before I came.
Und als ich nach Deutschland kam,
when I came to Germany,
am ersten Tag hat er zu mir gesagt, man muss jeden Tag Gymnastik machen.
on the first day he told me, every day you have to do gymnastics.
Ich habe gesagt, was für Gymnastik soll ich machen?
And I asked him, what kind of gymnastics should I do?
Da hat er mir gezeigt, was ich machen kann, unter anderem auch.
And then he showed me a special exercise, which is what I have to do.
100-mal soll ich so hoch und runter springen.
And then he said, every day 100 times you have to make this exercise. Then,
und das habe ich 35 Jahre gemacht.
35 years I did this exercise.
Und da hatte ich mit Knie Probleme.
Until I got some problems with my knees and I had to stop this then.
Yeah. Ein paar Wochen später sagte er, weißt du, man muss auch schwimmen können.
And then after that he told me, well, you also have to swim a lot.
Also dann bin ich hin, habe ich mich im Hallenbad angemeldet und habe schwimmen gelernt.
And then I registered in the swimming pool and I learned swimming and did this then regularly.
Und kurz danach sagte, man muss auch tanzen können.
And then he told me when I was young.
Also ich habe mich in Tanzschule angemeldet.
So I registered in the dancing school.
Und mein großes Glück, mein Ehemann habe ich auch in der Tanzschule kennengelernt.
And which was my luck, I met my future husband at the dancing school.
Ich habe sehr ihn geschätzt, sehr auf ihn gehört auch und habe ich alles, was er mir erzählt hat, sofort umgesetzt.
I loved very much my older brother and I listened to everything he said and I applied this and put it into practice.
Und alles Gute für Sie alle.
And all the best for all of you. Vielen Dank, Tanja. And now we go to Navid, my dear brother, please.
I remember I was maybe 10 or 11 with Hamid together. We were sitting in a seminar and we were a little bit bored because we were young and we were thinking of other things. Suddenly we heard our name. And then somehow my father said, the next story Navid or Hamid wants to tell you. And we didn't want to tell anything. There were about 300 people sitting there and then we had to tell the story. At that moment, we were embarrassed and we didn't like it. But today, many, many years after, 59 years later or 50 years later, we were really thankful because he had the ability to see in people the quality they have before the people knew it. And many of us who are today doing seminars or doing the seminars all over the world are people who he really inspired to be courageous to do it. And so that's one of the wonderful qualities we really learned, and I'm very thankful for that.
Thank you very much. And I would like to give to my cousin, Fanas, originated from California, now lives in Germany, and who is like the niece of Nossrat Peseschkian. Please, Fanas.
Yeah, I learned a lot from Nossrat. I learned how to love life and enjoy life, and he was always full of love for everybody. No matter how little time he had, he always answered all my questions, and he always took time for me, and he always gave me this feeling as if I am the only one in the world. It was very important for me to just learn that no matter how difficult life is, you can always love it and enjoy it.
And now you're a basic consultant and applying the balance model with many, many people.
Yes.
Wonderful, okay. And the last ones we want to ask to say, I mean, everybody would like to speak, but we know that the conference is not only about us, are the four grandchildren of Nossrat Peseschkian who are today here. Farid, Leila, Samira, and Tara, unfortunately had to leave earlier, so the three, please.
When we think of our grandfather, we think of his kindness, of his generosity and his love that really embraced everyone in the world, no matter where they came from, and his openness to involve in other cultures and in their languages. From wherever he would go, he would bring us from many of the places things and would learn a few words that he would share with everyone. And it's really nice to now also, many of us are walking in his footsteps as psychotherapists, psychiatrists, or psychologists, and are happy to continue his work.
Okay, so we say hello, all the best, all of you. Thank you very much. Yes, we thought that what my aunt told you, we will show you now, so that you do that. We do all together with you a small exercise then. So, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, Hamid. Thank you, Navid. Thank you, all family members, for this beautiful video. And so, dear friends, now we are laughing, but we ask all of you now to stand up, please, who can do it. And now, together, we'll do interval training with Nossrat Peseschkian, please.
Zwei, drei, vier und 5. Jetzt umgekehrt. 1, 2, 3, 4 und 5. Siehst du, diese Reihe steht wieder auf. Diese Reihe alle aufstehen. 1, 2, 3, bravo. 4 und 5. Schön, aber sehr gut. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nochmal. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Nossrat Peseschkian always said bravo or please, close. So now we can switch on your microphones. We did a great job. Thank you very much. What could be the best or present for the founder of our method? We think that our best present is our unity in our diversity.
Unity in diversity.
Единство в многообразието.
Unidad en diversidad.
வேற்றுமையில் ஒற்றுமை.
Vienotībā daudzveidībā.
Mitmekesisuses on tugevus.
求同存异.
Єдність в багатоманітності.
Çeşitlilik içinde birlik.
Միասնությունը բազմազանության մեջ.
Jedność w różnorodności.
Enhet och mångfald.
በልዩነት ውስጥ አንድነት.
Бидний нэгдэл олон төрлийн ялгаанд.
Birlik muhtelifliktedir.
Unitet në ndryshueshmëri.
Единство в многообразии.
მრავალფეროვნების ერთიანობა.
Unitate în diversitate.
Einheit in Vielfalt.
Unità nella diversità.
وحدت در کثرت.
And now we can show our unity. You can close, you can have to send our hearts. It's our great treasure, our unity in our diversity. So from this day, we invite you to celebrate each 19th of June as Positive Psychotherapy Day. So now we will show you a video and you can share it with all whom you know to celebrate this, our beautiful quality. Thank you, dear friends, for this meeting. Today, you can take part in our flash mob, posting your photos, your messages in all social media with the BBT hashtags to celebrate today our day. Thank you very much for all participants, speakers, and organizers. Thank you, Hamid. Want you to say something in the end?
And thank you to our audio translators for the amazing job they did during this meeting.
Yeah, I think it was one of the best programs I've ever seen, really. Thank you very much. I think it's very, very moving, and really thanks to our translators. Now the language barrier is not a problem anymore. We can communicate today from 29 different countries. I mean, really, it's a lot. So if tomorrow morning you go to work, people ask what you do on Sunday, you say, well, I just met people, colleagues from 29 countries, you know? I mean, it is very moving. And friends, let's take this spirit when we go back to our work. You will remember that Nossrat Peseschkian said so often, in every therapy session, the patient has to laugh at least 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. If not, the whole session was useless. See, this is not so easy to achieve that in a time where people have a lot of problems and so on. But this again gives a vision, you know. We have to be inspired ourselves and give this to the client, that when the client gets out of our room or online, he gets so excited for the next week at least then, yeah. And so slowly he can develop this hope. And maybe I can end just, you know, there is a proverb in Oriental language that my father was quoting always. It says, only the first 100 years are difficult. After that, life is much easier, you know? So it was always the idea to give some kind of hope. Sometimes, you know, hope is after 100 years, it will be better. The problem are the first 100 years. So that really, with a sense of humor, with anecdotes, and so we can really bring a lot to other people. And the very last thing, friends, we are so fortunate, each one of us, that we are working in a profession which has to do with other human beings. Many of you have husbands or partners who sit the whole day in front of the computer. I mean, maybe they earn money, but we are dealing with human beings every day. This is such a blessing. Yeah, I don't know any other profession who has this. So really, let's take this positive energy from this meeting, bring it out again then, yeah, to 29 different countries. It's unbelievable, yeah, 29 different countries. And so when you sit in your small office, you do some things, you know that we have colleagues all over the world who are working with the same balance model. They also try to inspire the client. They also try to work with this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So thank you very much for that. I think it was an excellent program, very inspiring. And yeah, and take care wherever you are, and hope to see all of you soon again.